Are you hanging in there, Jordan?
Not so bad. Today's good. I got some sleep last night. It's way better. Now the stressing starts. Everybody seems pretty happy so far. Even Loris is close. Just talked to Aaron, he's good. Greg seems good. We'll see.
You're cool. You're not like Rob Rothkop or...
Quali day. They've done practice in the morning. It's been kind of quiet, but we're running out of time to make any changes if we have to. Weather's a little bit iffy. It's dark over the hills, and I heard it's raining a tiny bit at the top, but not much. Not enough to do anything yet. We get one more shot. We get qualifying run, obviously. So that's really the last chance we have to make any changes or do any setup tuning. And then it's race day.
Yesterday,
Yep.
there was that corner, right corner with like holes in it.
Yep.
And I was able to just like skip them, like skim almost, just.
Yeah.
And then it was like really compressing and I felt like shit. And now it feels like I don't have that ability to just, you know.
Stay on top?
Yeah, kind of. Just because of the rebounding thing.
Probably, yeah.
But it's still like a bit kicky on shit, so.
Yeah, but I don't think it's a rebound kick. I think it's a compression kick. It's gonna sit in. Huh?
Let's think about it.
Let's do that.
Usually I change spring, shocks, bike, wheel size. No. Basically it was just like, I think
Just a couple clicks here and there, really.
like high speed is the same, just a bit of rebound and low speed compression.
It is a weird track though.
It's just like you want grip, but it's really fast, so you want to sit in and feel like comfortable. Should we go just one click of low speed instead of two? Compression or not? Two is good. Then what's
I just want to speed rebound up a tiny bit.
which one?
I don't know. Yeah, just one.
Speed up high speed. Don't like that. I just need to be careful on that first straight, because there's like a double. You land and you have to go double on the side.
Yeah.
And it seems like the bike is just like squeezing and just like yeah.
Even with the more low speed
So-
now.
It's better, but still like in the flat in like man-made berm, it was way better though.
Okay.
It was like less like just more planted.
Yep. Good. It's gonna be amazing. Nah, he's pretty sharp. Like, he's goofy and a lot of the stuff he does just to torture me. But he is looking for something. The tricky part is getting him confident and not like getting some wacky setup just because he's feeling stressed. But like just letting him settle down and start riding stuff, because he always rides it and he always likes it. He just hates all the warm-up stuff, practice, thinking, and he'll be fine. I think almost everybody's just going stiffer because there's some huge holes. Grip isn't a massive issue right now, but there's a lot of berms with big holes in them. You're coming in really square and having to turn and hitting holes, so you kind of need the bike to hold up to that stuff just so you can manage it. So I think big hit is more important than traction right now, at least until it starts raining, and then everything's going to change.
Who's got the puzzle the most figured out right now?
I don't know, because they all do these things to take their mind off of racing. Some of them don't do anything, and some of them do everything. So it's not necessarily that they're not dialed, because most of them are. They've been doing this for so long.
My name is Ben Arnott. I'm Angel Suarez's mechanic on the YT Mob, and this race we have not made a huge amount of changes to suspension. It's done a lot of testing in the off season and is pretty happy with this setup. It's quite a hard track to set the suspension up for here, because there's a lot of places, pretty much everywhere, you need really good small bump and sensitivity, because there's lots of little fine roots and it's really fast. But then you have these 20 or so G outs and bottom outs, which normally on a track you'd have one or two of those, so you just accept that they're there and that your bike isn't going to feel great on those, but there's so many of them on this track that you really need the bike to cope with them really well and sit up well in its travel. Angel runs his suspension pretty progressive anyway, like a lot of the World Cup guys, so we didn't really make much of a change there, but we opened up the high-speed rebound a little bit just to keep the suspension as available as it can be, if that makes sense, like so that it's coming back to its starting position as quickly as it can, while still kind of giving them control. So that was pretty much the only change we've made. Apart from that, it's been more kind of playing around with the height of the fork and how pushed through the crowns they are, in order to get a good balance between it's not a very steep track here, so you know we don't need that real kind of like weight back feeling for the steep parts of the track, and we're really concentrating on front wheel grip as well, so we've actually ended up going a little bit lower, having the bars a little bit lower effectively. Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, this track, I mean, it's been pretty hard to get a good feeling on the bike. Took me about 3 or 4 runs to get comfortable. Obviously just because the pace of the track is pretty fast and each run you're going faster and faster, so yeah, dialing in the suspension has been massive, so we've worked pretty hard on that to get it to where I'm happy with now, and yeah, look, I'm feeling pretty good on the track. Definitely on this track a little bit stiffer than some others, obviously because the high speed and big hits, so yeah, definitely need it to ramp up, but also have that start of the stroke really supple, and obviously being able to feel what's going on is key too.
So we've got Dean Lucas's bike here on the DHX2, the Fox 49s. We've pretty much like left everything pretty similar to what we've been running at home and testing with. He stayed the same spring rate. We have tweaked the rebounds 1 or 2 clicks to compensate for all the big hits. Other than that, he's loving it and it's working a dream.
So I'm Scott Mears, I'm Danny Hart's mechanic for the 2019 season for Saracen Madison. His settings, we're doing some testing at Lausa in Portugal not so long ago. His settings are pretty similar to that as the conditions, the weather, the temperature is pretty similar to what it was. We've alternated the air pressure very slightly just because of the amount of compressions here. Kind of went up and down in that as he's got faster throughout practice. Other than that, everything else is pretty standard. He's running 77.5 psi in the front and he's on a 375 spring on the rear. Settings are pretty intermediate on them. Everything else we've got pretty soft. Rebounds on quite hard again, just for the temperature and a lot of the reactive bumps on the track, so other than that, he's getting on well.
So, I'm Aternati, mechanic for GT Factory Racing. This is George Brannigan's downhill Fury. So, we're just getting ready for quali now. The boys had a bit of practice in the morning. Bikes got pretty well dialed during the week already, but yeah, like Winnie said, we could always do a little bit of few adjustment at the end, because of course the track changed quite a bit, getting ducked in, getting braked in, so. But pretty much mainly what we're doing now is just make sure the bike is ready for quali, safe and sound, and checking pressure and making sure it's all good.
My name's Kurt McDonald and I'm the mechanic for Eddie Masters. In terms of setup, well, we kind of had 2 weeks of testing on this new downhill bike in Queenstown before we came out here, so we got a pretty good base tune. And Eddie's just kind of gone and talked to Jordi this week and he's helped him fine tune it in for the track. So yeah, in terms of our base setting, like we're just a few clicks out and on our base pressures, so all is good. We trust what Jordi has to recommend for Eddie, so yeah.
I'm Joe Staub with the Giant Factory Off-Road team, and we're here just before qualifying with Marcelo Gutierrez and Jacob Dixon. We worked a little bit with Jordi this week and got set up pretty well for qualifying today. Some of the things that we did actually were taking some of his input on increasing our spring rate a little bit. The guys were getting through too much travel early on, and since there's a lot of holes developing and some really delicate kind of gap jumps through some of the holes and trying to be really precise, we needed to get a little bit more support, so we ran a little less sag, so that meant going up in spring rate. We've also been making tweaks to, you know, all the clickers here and there and getting the guys super comfortable, but Fox has been really supportive and helping us get to a good spot, and we're looking for some fast times in qualifying.
So here we are at Maribor, getting all excited for the qualifying. The bikes are all ready. The Fox suspension is looking amazing as always. Let's get it on.
They're getting hammered at the top too.
What does this mean, Jordi?
The best thing you can hope for though is consistency. If it rains, you want it to rain. If it's dry, you want it dry. You just don't want people to get screwed because of the weather. Like rain for 5 minutes and then dry out, or rain halfway through. And it's qualifying. It's not the end of the world, but still, it sets you up for race day for sure. For us, it sucks because it's cold and wet and you don't want to do anything. But for the riders, just you want to hope for equality.
So if this keeps up, will there be a lot of changes to the suspension?
Not much, I don't think. The whole change your stuff for wet settings is it's not that valid, really. Everybody has some kooky idea about slowing rebound or this and that. For the most part, I think it's nonsense. You want your bike to feel the same all the time.
Yeah, I was like second right at a drop, so pretty hard to judge the conditions. It was super glassy, and I think it might improve now. But it's wet for everyone.
Just got down from quali then. It was a bit like hard to judge, to be honest. Went out the gate, first right-hander, real sketchy, and I thought the woods was dry, so started pushing. Rode most of it averagely alright, and then just washed out at the bottom, had a bit of a crash. But fingers crossed, we should be all good for finals.
As he comes down so good, bro. Here. This
bit sketchy at the top because I don't know how the track was, and then I just did a solid run and stay on my bike and enjoy pretty much. It was good fun, Muddy and wet.
Post an excellent time here for Forrest Rasco, right there in 31st place. Get on to that,
Last day of practice and qualifying today. Practice was all in the dry, so we pretty much set everybody up for a fast, dry, grippy course. And then it started pouring rain right before qualifying. Track was pretty sketchy in the wet. Looked really hard to ride, and evidenced in results and injuries afterwards. We had some good results and some bad results. It's kind of a bummer that people don't get equal footing for all this stuff and fair qualies. I just want everybody to be happy with races, our athletes, other athletes, everybody. But then we've got racing tomorrow. The weather's still looking a little hit or miss. So really it's just going to be playing it by ear and seeing what the day brings.
And in terms of service side of things tomorrow, what are we looking at?
I don't know. We'll see. We'll get like a download tomorrow morning as athletes kind of sleep on it and process what the track was like. And then we'll talk in the morning and kind of feel out the weather, see if we want to change things. Normally, I think when it's, you don't really do a whole lot for wet. You kind of set up for the track, and if it's slower, it's slower. It's going to be tire choices and line choices, things like that. But suspension won't change a whole lot.